We live. What's good, Rambo?
Nothing much.
Chillin'.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Ah, shit. What the fuck happened? Okay.
And there we go. Get the chat up.
Ah, shit. What the fuck happened? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna tweet it out.
And of course, Shane ain't with us because he a bitch.
He forgot what day Wednesday is.
Yep.
He figured that something that happens the same day every day of the week. You couldn't really forget that.
Right. Uh,
Oh, man. It's hot.
so, interesting news on Twitter. First one was judge ruled that Trump can't block people on Twitter.
Which is fucking stupid.
Yeah, it kind of really is. Especially the the justification they gave for it.
And they're talking about his real Donald Trump account, not the president account.
Yeah.
Which that's his personal account. So why is it that he has to allow people to see his tweets on the personal account?
I mean, they said it's because he, puts official statements out from it, but it's like it's not like he doesn't have to send a registered letter to everybody every time he makes an official statement.
No.
So I don't. And it's not like people can't just, if they are blocked, open an incognito window or sign out and do it that way.
Yeah, I'm not sure as to like what the hell they're mind. I mean, so does that mean everybody that has blocked me is violating my First Amendment?
Yeah, does this only apply to him, or does this apply to all politicians, or does this apply to everybody? Or
I mean,
even more
consider
interesting, what if does this now apply to Twitter itself?
yeah.
I mean, wouldn't them shadow banning or deleting somebody's account or some shit like that, wouldn't that count towards this?
You would think so, but of course, I mean, I doubt the courts would agree. They'd probably find some other loophole around it.
Sure. Yeah. Be a lot to ask them to be consistent.
Yeah, definitely.
But and then a federal judge ruled that embedded pictures in a tweet can represent a copyright infringement.
Do what?
A picture embedded in a tweet can represent a copyright infringement.
How?
Well, the case was Justin Goldman accused publications, including Breitbart, Time, Yahoo, Vox, and Boston Globe, of violating his copyright by embedding into their stories tweets with his photo of New England Patriot quarterback Tom Brady. Goldman had the photo on his Snapchat, and then the the magazines or sites or whatever used that those tweets and stuff and put those in their stories. And the weird part was the judge. He based it on what's known as the server test, where the liability for copyright infringement is determined by whether an image is hosted on the publisher's server or if the publisher just embedded a link or some other way that where it's not on their server, it just links to the image, or the image is actually linked from their site. But oh man, this is just more nonsense that's coming
I mean,
about.
your Snapchat pictures and your Twitter shit is all stored on Twitter and Snapchat servers, not this guy's servers.
Well, but if they pulled the picture and put it in their article, actually in the article, then it would be on their servers. But really, I mean, really none of that shit should matter because, God, this is what's so stupid about copyright laws.
I mean, it seems like that if you're trying to make us like say what this guy said in a tweet, that posting the tweet in the embedding the tweet into the article is only like reinforcing that, showing like they're for transparency's sake. It wouldn't be any sort of. How can you copyright a fucking tweet? And
Yeah.
how does somebody automatically get copyright on their tweet without applying for it?
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
That makes no fucking sense.
Although this was just a preliminary ruling, so it's not the end of the case or anything. But that was the judge just rejected their motion for a summary judgment. But
It definitely sounds like we're getting more and more liberal judges. Either they are, just becoming, I guess, more emboldened, or we're getting some judges that are either really young or the older ones are just scared to actually make a stand to see, knowing what type of public backlash they can receive.
yeah,
Or their ideological place to where anything that can go against Trump, the better. I don't know. I mean, it's all fucking stupid at this point.
what up, Cyrus?
What's going on, Cyrus?
Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit. That's for sure. Ugh. And then Germany is their attempt to fix Facebook and Twitter and all them is backfiring on them pretty good. A whole bunch of right-wing politicians are, say, using their new laws to their advantage. Because now
I don't even know what laws are.
now Facebook, because now Facebook, Twitter, and all any social media site is legally liable and can face fines of, I think it was over €1 million, I think, if they don't take care of tweets that are hate speech fast enough. So they obviously instituted new policies within Germany and all that, and I believe it was the whole. I don't know if it was the whole EU, but I think it was. But yeah, so now they've got even worse censorship for Facebook and all them than they do in the U.S. and everywhere else. And so now the right-wing politicians are using the new laws and reporting. I guess it's tweets critical of them that might use language of questionable nature or something like that, and they're getting them all deleted.
Well, I mean, somebody had to see that coming.
Right? You would think, but no. Mm. Which that reminds me of so Steam apparently. Now, I don't know what the whole deal is with this because I've heard there's only pretty much rumors that it was like maybe a rogue employee, or so we don't really know if it was actually Steam that made the decision and then now they're going back on it, or if it was just a rogue employee that was trying to force some shit and then Steam just took action. But one of the developers that was messaged saying they were going to have to scrub their games was then messaged saying, don't pay attention to that message that we gave you. And there was oh man, what was the name of the group? I can't remember the name of the group, but it was something like Association for the Prevention of Sexual Assault or something silly like that, and they were claiming victory basically over the reports that Steam was doing this.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Until it came out that one of the developers that was contacted was a trans person.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So one of the developers was a trans person who had made some, I don't know how sexual, but it was some, visual novel type game that had sexual themes in it, and theirs was getting censored as well. And then all of a sudden, all these SJWs started bitching and whining and moaning that Steam was censoring their game.
Well, yeah, dumbass. When they censor all, they censor all. It doesn't matter what sexual orientation you have.
Like they really don't fucking even consider the fact that the gun might be turned on them eventually, do they?
Nope. They don't. I mean, even if they do realize it, they don't seem to care.
No.
They just go willy-nilly.
Oh, yeah. So like I said, there's still no word for sure whether this was intentional or whether it was just one employee, or we don't really know what happened. But
and just like Cyrus says, that Steam seems to be having a lot of behind-the-scenes problems lately.
yeah. So, but apparently, like I said, that it was for sure because the one developer they did confirm that they did get a second message that said basically ignore that first message. So at least for now, it looks like that whole thing is gone for whatever reason. But yeah, man, I don't know.
Backlash, and they just to admit it, or it could have actually just been, like you said, a rogue employee that wanted to, insert his political type opinions into the fray before he was fired.
Yeah, it was kind of weird that it came out on like late on a Friday night too.
Yeah, that would be kind of good. I didn't know when the story came out.
I believe it was like late Friday afternoon, or that was the first I saw it. Which
sounds like an employee on his way out.
Exactly.
To fuck with everybody.
Yeah, because like if it was actually Valve, you'd think they would do it on like a Monday or something, and not, not at the end of business on Friday.
Unless they were trying to dodge the heat for it, where like they could post out a tweet or whatever and say it, and then leave for the day for business, for weekend, and then come in Monday and deal with the heat. But I don't know. It doesn't seem like something like they would do. Like to me, it seems like if they were going to announce it, they would announce it officially, along the whole thing first.
Yeah, Cyrus. I mean, they could have gotten hacked, maybe, or maybe like because we don't even know like where if they got the mess. Because I don't think it was actually like a tweet that they got. They said it was a message, but I don't think they mentioned what the message was from. So, it might have been that their Twitter got hacked or something like that. I don't know. But I don't know. Who the fuck knows?
This world is getting fucking crazier and crazier every fucking day.
Yeah.
Did you see the sinkhole outside the White House?
The sinkhole? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's having a field day with that one. They're photoshopping Melania in the hole, talking about wrong side of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying that the gates of some journalist wrote an article saying the gates of hell are opening up and welcoming Donald Trump.
Jesus.
I'm like, I don't know how y'all can write these articles and still be proud of what you are. Like, you're supposed to be completely unbiased and just telling the facts, but There's too many fucking bloggers out these days that are trying to pass as journalists.
Oh, did you see the thing about the journalists who tried to prove that they had just as good of mental abilities as Donald Trump?
Uh-uh.
They took the same test that Donald Trump took, where he, they said like his perfect score or something like that, or something like that. I don't know if he got like an actual perfect score, but he got high on it. And so a whole bunch of journalists took the same test and they all scored really bad.
Oops.
Yeah.
It's kind of like those tweets by the leftists that they put out and they go, "Who wants to see Donald Trump impeached or whatever?" And like overwhelmingly no.
Yeah. So yes, they apparently do have a lot of stupid journalists who, and it wasn't just an IQ test either. It tested a whole bunch of stuff, like your ability to control your emotions and your ability to set your biases aside. Literally everything about it was just horrible from a journalist standpoint.
That's not really surprising though, because
No.
they definitely don't let their biases.
Yeah. In other news, water is wet.
Yeah.
Oh man. Bunch of nonsense. Best timeline ever though.
Still debatable, man. Still fucking debatable. I mean, I enjoy seeing some crazy shit like that happening, but at the same time, is that eventually enough seats are going to be won inside, Congress, and then the president's going to get swapped out with a Democrat. And if they're all that far left-leaning thing, we're going to become the UK really fucking quick.
True. But you know them. They'll push it too far, and then a civil war will start, and then my shotgun will get some practice.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I guess there's a way to look at it.
I mean, if it's got to happen, I'd rather it happen while I'm still young.
Yeah. I'll just rest back with my family playing PlayStation while y'all fight the war, because I'm getting too old.
Yeah.
And crippled.
You just sit out on the front porch, and as the black-clad commies, run by, target practice.
I always said that I could just buy one of the 50 caliber sniper rifles and just sit from a distance and pick people off.
Yeah, there you go. And I guess so. Why don't you go for the chick who got pulled over?
Oh man, I never even heard about the original story until today when they released the footage, and then I started looking into it. But apparently, this woman got pulled over Sunday by Texas Highway Patrol, but it was in Waxahachie, Texas, and apparently he tried to pull her over on the highway, and then she passed like 3 exits, and then finally exited and got off the highway and pulled into a dealership and parked. And he at first was kind of like really matter of fact, like bam, like, why are you pulling it, and then he started joking around with her, kind of having a good time. And she said after she talked to her attorney, she told her attorney that the cop tried to proposition her for sex to let her go, and she said no, and then, he sexually assaulted her, and that her fiance tried to follow them and keep them in their line of sight, but yet he lost them in some dealership. And so that attorney then, which is an activist kinda, sent the information over to Shaun King, and Shaun King blew it up, talking about how this woman was kidnapped and raped and everything else like that. It blew up like really hugely viral. Well, the Texas Department of Public Safety said that the body cam, I guess this lady didn't know there was a body cam. And she said they said the body cam footage didn't match up to what she was saying at all, and they would show the district attorney, and then if they didn't care about releasing it, they would release it. Well, they released it today, and this damn cop was so fucking patient and nice and kind, and went above and beyond any sort of amount of niceness as far as like whenever you're arresting somebody. But he did the sobriety test, and he, I guess he went back to get a breathalyzer, and I guess he didn't have one handy or whatever. So he placed her under arrest for suspicion of DUI, put her in the car, and went back over there to like inventory her car, came back and was talking to her, and she said that she wanted to make a call and asked if she could call her, her fiance, to let him know that, she wasn't going to be able to make it tonight. She was being arrested. And he was like, sure, yeah. He goes, well, you can, she asked the officer to call. He's like, I'll just let you call. Don't worry about it. I'll let you call. And he actually went back out of his car back to her car, got the phone, brought it back. And then somehow the fiance showed up. I don't know how the fiance even realized where they were at, but the fiance showed up. Cop didn't yell at him. He's like, all right, just pull up in front of her car. She was wanting to talk to you, so I'll just go ahead and let, since you're here, I'll let her talk to you, now instead of calling you. And so fiance pulled up and parked in front of her car. He walked up to the fiance's car and saw that he had a kid in the car. So he went back to his car, got her out of the car, walked her all the way to his car so that way they could have a conversation about, at first it was all about the arrest. And he was like, okay, look, if this is the way the conversation is going to go, then it's done. He's like, we're not talking about what happened here. If you want to have a conversation about anything else, more power to you. Go ahead. And so the conversation happened. He went, took her back to the car, asked her what she needed out of the car, and she was like, her purse. She's like, well, you can't take your whole purse. So she's like, well, at least my wallet. And he walked to the car, got a wallet, brought it back. He said, this is what you're looking for, what you're needing? And she said, yeah, but also another one. And so he asked her to describe it, went back to the car, got another fucking wallet, brought it back to her, and he was like, is this the one? She's like, yeah. And she goes, well, really all that, he goes, there's nothing. He was like, there's nothing in it. She goes, there's a card in it. That I really just need to make sure that card gets with him, the fiance. And he's like, okay, I'll make sure the card gets with him. So he actually walked back to the fiance, handed him the belongings that she wanted to give to him, told him how to like bail her out and everything like that. The fiance was like, well, I'm going to follow you. He's like, you're not following me. Like, well, I need to make sure she goes to jail. He's like, she's going to jail. He's like, but you are not following me. He said, you're free to go ahead and leave. And so cop walks back to his car, starts doing his little thing, and the guy pulls up next to the cop car. Cop gets out, he's like, can I help you? And he's like, can you just let her know to call me whenever she's free to do so? And he's like, sure thing, man, I'll let her know. Hop back in the car, told her real nice and politely, and I'm like, who the fuck does this during an arrest? Like, first of all, this guy went above and beyond every fucking possible scenario that you could ever have, ever come across. Like we said earlier, we've been treated a hell of a lot worse during a fucking traffic ticket, let alone being arrested for DUI. It seemed like he went above and beyond because she was a woman and he was going to be, extra courteous with her. But still, then she turned that situation where it would have been perfectly better to actually tweet about how great she was actually treated into, well, he sexually assaulted me. And the only thing to come out of it was an apology from the girl's attorney, and that's it. Like, I'm just wondering why there's not charges equivalent to what the guy could have faced by going to court over a sexual assault, levied against the woman for making a completely false accusation, and at least filing a false, like, I wouldn't think it'd be a false police report because they didn't do the police report, but they did a lawsuit, which is at least false documents to the court. I don't know. I just think that something needs to be done because this is getting out of hand, and you're starting to see more and more people post these dumbass videos of black people in a car and something's happening, and of course they're blaming it because they're black. And I'm like, we have a cop problem. We don't have a cop with black people problem. We have a cop problem in America. More and more states are becoming fucking police states rather than actually, them doing what they're supposed to be doing. And the more and more y'all make it about race, the less we're actually going to get to the bottom of how can we fix, the policing problem we have.
Yep.
But this is a perfect example of how policing should be done. And I just can't believe she turned it like such a positive event. Granted, she got arrested, but still a positive event during that whole arrest to sexual assault, and then is able to still walk scot-free and nothing happened. But the guy that made the comments inside that bagel shop or whatever it was, where he was a white attorney or whatever, and he's talking about how the people shouldn't be speaking Spanish and they're in America. That went viral, and now they're demanding that nobody rents to this guy. Nobody, because he can work from home. Nobody, like, he should lose his job, lose his house, because of him being a bigot. I'm like going, but how is what she did not just as bad? Like, I don't understand how that can be any different. Like, why aren't you tweeting about how this woman should not be hired and should have to be paying restitution and everything else for the,
and nobody should do business with her. And
yeah, like, how is that not just a, I don't, it totally blows my freaking mind. And what's funny is that there was one video on fucking Twitter, a black guy and this girl, they started videotaping once the cop had the door open trying to get him out. Well, then he told the whole story as to he got pulled over for a broken taillight. And, this is how the cop treated him. And there was no evidence as to the reason why he got pulled over, whatever led up to to the police asking him to step out of his vehicle, nothing. But the narrative throughout the whole fucking thing, all the whole thread of the people replying to that is just totally believing this guy's story. And I'm like, there was a few people that would say, well, sorry, I can't. I mean, I'm not just going to take your word for it because the video doesn't show enough evidence to back up your statement. And he's like, I'm going to have to see more of it before I can just, agree with you. And people were replying to these people saying, look, what happened. So obviously it happened here if he says it did. So, I mean, it's like these people are just completely being outraged over videos that show half of what the fuck happened, if not even maybe a fourth. It's just, we're in a fucking weird state in the world, let alone in America. I mean,
yep.
And we're never going to get the cop problem fixed if we keep bringing it up black and white. And somebody tried to say, well, how come he's like, he wasn't saying this guy should have been shot and killed, but it says a lot whenever the school shooter is a white kid, which he's not white. He's fucking Mexican. But this white kid was able to be arrested and not have a scratch on him carrying a shotgun and a handgun and killing 10 innocent kids or 10 innocent people. And black people are being shot, for the suspected, weapons, left and right in this country. And I was like, somebody responded, he's like, well, I mean, it all depends on the situation too. Like what, how the black person's actions led up to the point of them being shot.
Yeah, I love how they conveniently leave out that, like, the DC sniper was escorted out in a bulletproof vest and not touched, just like Dylan Roof and all those other white kids.
Yeah. And somebody said, and he said, your tweet implies that this doesn't happen to white people. And he's like, it does for sure. And I was like, what's sad is that it actually happens more so to white people than black people as far as being shot unarmed, but the media doesn't cover it. So therefore, it just goes by the wayside. I was like, we don't have a damn race problem with the cops. We have a fucking cop problem altogether. These cops are way over fucking zealous, man. I told you that I like my little PD YouTube series or whatever that I've been watching.
Yeah.
But I'm noticing more and more from these fucking cops that pull them over. They're pulling them over like for what I would consider bullshit fucking reasons why they're pulling him over. And one of the very first questions they ask him, can I search your car? Well, you don't have right to search somebody's car just because you want to.
Yep.
And there was one where The guy was like, "Can I search your car?" He pulled him over. He said for a busted taillight, but it was literally a rock that had gone through the taillight. So I mean, you could still see all the red. But there was one white circle, one little tiny white circle, which that definitely is a bullshit minor fucking infraction. No reason to pull somebody over for that, but that dumb shit. He gets up there and he's like, you know, I smell an odor of weed. The ladies were like, we don't even smoke weed, so I don't even know what, like how the hell you're getting that odor. He's like, and they were very cooperative, and he's like, well, they didn't give consent for the car, so they ran a drug dog around. And what I've been noticing a lot with the drug dog is the drug dog don't even look like it even makes a move towards the car. It just runs around, and it's almost like the cop insinuates a false positive,
Right.
to get the probable cause, because this dog didn't act like he made any sort of, you know, alert. But the cop said, "Oh, the dog definitely did alert to the car, so we're going to go ahead and search your vehicle anyway." They didn't find any drugs, so how the fuck did the dog alert to the car?
Right.
There was no drugs in the car, but they happened to find like $2,000 or $4,000 worth of clothes and black trash bags that still had the security tags on them. So clearly they stole them from a store, and they, you know, needed to be off the street. But the whole premise of them searching the car was illegal. Like all it takes is a cop saying, "Well, I smell drugs."
Which
Well,
Supreme Court even ruled on that. That's not enough.
I'd have to see the court case, because I'm like, that's just, I mean, to me, it's just bullshit that these cops can get away with doing all this, and has nothing to do with fucking race. It has everything to do with the cops just overstepping their fucking bounds.
Yep.
They don't like it when they come across somebody who knows their rights.
Oh, fuck no.
I saw one video where a kid was riding his bike on some boardwalk or whatever near a beach, basically a sidewalk. And the cop came over there and told him that they can't ride their bike there. If they come back, they'll get ticketed. And he was like, "Under what ordinance, sir?" Because under city ordinance, ... it says I can ride my bike here on this property all the way through. And he's like, "Oh, are you a lawyer now? Where did you get your law degree?" And he's like, "So you're telling me I have to be a lawyer in order to know my rights? So you're saying a citizen should not know their rights unless they're a lawyer?" And the cop was like, you know, like muffled something, and then the cop ended up walking off. And the kid was a real smartass afterwards, going, "Yeah, next time don't be fucking harassing people, you know, about, you know, breaking laws that aren't laws in the beginning, and quit making up laws as you go and actually learn them." And it's like, it's just fucking out. It pisses me off, because these people are leading the wrong fucking charge. And if they cared about human life, as they're saying, whether it be black human life or whatever human life they're trying to do, they'd be all over fucking Chicago. Right. You are far more likely to be shot and killed in Chicago than you are going to school in America. Oh yeah. Oh, Cyrus, you got to look at each one separately. Yeah, that's another thing. Is they'll post a video of a white person being arrested with a gun and not being shot, and then they'll post a video of a black person being shot and killed, and then they'll go, "Obviously these people over here are racist." And I'm like, they're not even the same fucking cops that stop these people.
Might not even be the same state or whatever. Yeah.
And it's not even the same scenario. Like the situations that led up to both of these guys being arrested or shot did not happen identical one for one. And that definitely, every situation is different. Like, and it also depends on where they pull somebody over. If they pull somebody over where the crime rate is like 1 in every 10 people are going to get killed, versus another area, 1 in every 100 persons is going to get killed, well, chances are you're going to have a different encounter with the police in that 1 in 100 neighborhood than you are in the 1 in 10 neighborhood. And it just, I mean, I fully understand. Yes, we have a cop problem. They overstep their bounds. They do too much shit that they shouldn't be doing. But making it about race is definitely, the only thing you're doing is minimizing the actual problem we have. We have a fucking huge problem with cops overstepping their bounds. But it's not just overstepping them with black people. It's overstepping them with fucking literally everybody that they pull over.
Yeah.
And I would suggest everybody look up your constitutional rights and what the cops can and cannot do, especially even in your city, and definitely make sure you stand up to those rights whenever you're pulled over. If a cop comes up to you and pulls you over for whatever infraction, and the cop then starts asking, "Well, where are you coming from? Where are you headed to?" Don't answer those fucking questions. You don't have to. They're wanting you to incriminate yourself because they're wanting you to say you're coming from a different neighborhood, which is known for drugs or whatever. So therefore, they can get probable cause or another reason to ask you a follow-up question in order to search your car to jam you up with something else.
Yep.
Just take your ticket and move on.
Oh man, dude, when I was I was young, and me and my buddy were driving in his car somewhere, and a motorcycle cop pulled us over and started writing him a ticket for loud exhaust. And fucking, I didn't want to get him in trouble, so I didn't say anything while he was ticketing him. But the cop finishes with the ticket, and I'm like, all right, bro, can I say something now? Because the cop had literally said any modified exhaust is illegal. And I'm like, motherfucker, I've worked for exhaust shops, welding exhaust, and I have friends who work at smog shops. Like, that is not the law. And so I go, he told me, yeah, it's fine. So I step out and I tell him that, and he's like, nope, you're wrong, and just motors off. It got to the point where I had to literally go to the California law website and print out the law on vehicle exhaust just so fucking, if a cop tried to say that shit to me, I could just pull out the law, the printed out law, and say, no, you're wrong. Look here, it's right here.
It's insane. Like most of these cops don't know the fucking laws.
Yeah.
And what was that one I was just thinking about? Like while you were saying that shit. Oh, it was damn good. I forgot. Oh, it was something like that situation there, and
Happened to you or to one you heard about?
no, it was one I saw on one of the things,
Ah.
and the whole "give me your ID." Well, if you get pulled over for a traffic stop, you have to hand your ID, but the passenger don't.
Yeah. Right.
And there's so many times that they force the passenger to give the ID. The
Yep.
passenger does, and I'm like, you don't have to give them ID. You didn't break any law. You're not suspected of committing any crimes. Now, if they end up getting to the point where they search the car and they find drugs in the car, then you have to give your ID because then, depending on where the drugs are located in the car, if like they're in the center console, then they can go for both people. Or if the guy, the driver hit him underneath the passenger seat, they could be against you. So I mean, then then you're suspected of possibly committing a crime. So you have to show your ID at that point. But simply getting pulled over for a traffic ticket, you don't have to. The passenger doesn't have to do fucking anything.
Yep.
I just think more and more people should actually start standing up to these cops in the appropriate manner, not belligerently or whatever, but just knowing your rights and being able to say, I'm not answering that question. I don't have to, or I'm not giving you my ID. I don't have to.
Yep.
Oh, exactly, Cyrus. But they act like that you have to have an ID on you at all times, and you have to give the ID anytime that they want to stop and talk to you, and that's just not the case. They can't just randomly stop and talk to you. They can, but I mean, the only thing they can talk to you about, like the weather or whatever, just to say hi. They can't start doing an investigation without first having some sort of reason to do an investigation, some sort of probable cause or some sort of something. But so many people just freely give over their shit, and they're like, well, you shouldn't say anything if you haven't done anything wrong. Well, bullshit. Like, you should only care about your rights whenever you've done something wrong. You should care about your rights all the fucking time. These cops should be upholding the Constitution.
Oh, it really pisses me off when I see I've seen a bunch of videos now of either cops or trainees who have taken video of the training videos that they're shown, and it's literally fucking they're being taught that every citizen is the enemy and they're all out to get you, and dude, it's nasty shit.
Yep. I just don't trust cops at all.
I've had way too many bad experiences.
Yep. My wife one day we're in a concealed and open carry state, and uh, we were out for a family walk. We had all of our kids with us. This was a while back before the baby was around, but all the other kids with us, and we were walking down, walking through our neighborhood, and all of a sudden we get a cop pulling into. I mean, we're actually almost home at this point, but the cop pulls into the parking lot where we're at, gets out, has his gun pulled drawn, and my wife is carrying her gun, and he disarms my wife, and then proceeds to put her in the back of the cop car. Uh, all this shit, asking for everybody's IDs, the kids and mine, and
Shit.
I had a shit phone at the time, and my video recording of the situation didn't, pan out to where you could even see or hear what was going on. So I couldn't use it, or else I would have actually gone a little bit further, because they're not allowed to disarm you.
Right.
Only if you've committed a crime. They suspect you of committing a crime. And what happened is they were saying somebody was calling in saying that they thought that this woman had kidnapped all of us. And I'm like, how does that make sense? The gun's put up, and we're all just going to sit there and walk in line because she has a gun behind her back, but holding a dog?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that doesn't fucking make sense at all. Like that, and there was an undercover cop that I guess was following us around, and it was just a big ass mess. And then after they disarmed her, we were in a church parking lot. They walked the gun over to the church stairs, left the gun laying on the ground on the stairs, and then the clip next to it, and then said, "Y'all can pick that up whenever we leave." Well, first of all, like, who leaves a gun just laying there?
Yeah, sitting there.
Yeah, I'm like, you should be like not. I mean, if you see that they've not done anything wrong, even if you did, break their rights by disarming them, you should just give them back their gun at that point, because there's no reason why you should be in fear of somebody carrying a gun.
And what would he have done if somebody had like opened the door and snatched that thing or something?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, these cops are, I just can't stand them. And there's a few good ones, but the majority of them just have, like, I think that they're a bunch of people that were picked on as kids, or the football players that used to pick on kids way back in the day, that are now football. Now they're cops, and that's how they get their rocks off, by fucking people over.
Yeah, too many of them think that they're going to be John McClane.
Yep.
Yeah, I got pulled over on my bike once. I come up to the stoplight, and a cop on a motorcycle pulls up next to me, and he reaches over, snatches my key out of the ignition, points to the side of the road and says, "Push it." And then sits there and watches. He doesn't turn on his lights. He doesn't flash his sirens or anything. He doesn't move to block traffic. Traffic's fucking coming at us, and I'm fucking pushing this bike across 3 lanes of traffic to the sidewalk.
Wow.
Yeah, I told cops about that afterwards, and they all told me that I should have fucking had his badge. And fucking when I went into the court for the ticket that he gave me, I just wanted to talk to a lawyer to make sure that that was an illegal stop, and nobody could tell me where there was a lawyer or nothing.
Yeah, I think every interaction with the cops needs to be recorded from start to finish, not just in the middle of it when all of a sudden shit goes left, but the whole thing. So that way there's no question as to what happened, and you're able to defend yourself in court properly.
Right? I especially love the ones that have been caught on video telling citizens that they can't record them.
Oh, yeah.
That shit's fucking infuriating.
I'm like, how on earth did these cops not know that they can be recorded? That's just frustrating.
Yeah.
And have you heard the news about God of War
No, what?
and PlayStation? Obviously, both of them together. The NPDs came out.
Ah.
And so, let me get back to my photos here, and I can tell you more about like what was said. God of War was April's best-selling game. The PS4 exclusive from Santa Monica Studio achieved the highest ever launch month dollar sales for a title launched exclusively on any PlayStation platform. So, it actually achieved a higher dollar amount in sales for an April release, or a launch month release than any exclusive on any from PS1 to PS4. The PlayStation 4 dollar sales in 2018 set an all-time April high for any platform since tracking began since 1995. The US MPD software God of War reached the highest launch month dollar sales for an April release since Grand Theft Auto 4, which debuted in April of 2008. So that's including multiplats and exclusive. Also, MLB 18 The Show repeated its launch month ranking from March, once again placing at number 3 in the April revenues chart. MLB 18 The Show is the year's second best-selling exclusive, trailing only behind God of War. The PlayStation 4 generated the highest April unit sales for a console since Nintendo Wii in April of 2009, and the highest April dollar sales for a console since Nintendo Wii in April of 2008. The PS4 Pro 1 terabyte limited edition, the God of War one, was the month's best-selling hardware item in sales, while the Switch 32 gigabyte was the red and blue Joy-Cons was the leading hardware item in unit sales. The PlayStation 4 DualShock 4 wireless controller is now the all-time best-selling gamepad in dollar sales in lifetime. Like PlayStation just like people say that PlayStation like this gen is like they're firing on all cylinders, they're just taking gaming like the whole area kind of like by storm. Like nobody's even close to them. They put out other information like PlayStation did, which gave some interesting information. Like they've had, as of like December, as of December of 2007, final week of December 2017. This one, the sales are as of March 31st, 2018. There's been 79 million units sold. As of March 31st, 2018, they have 80 million plus monthly active users. The PS4 gameplay, as of December 2017, gamers were playing 800 million hours plus per week. The PlayStation Plus paid subscribers has grown from 2015 at 20.8, 2016 to 26.4, and 2017 to 34.2 million. Let's see, and this was the most interesting spot. And PlayStation 1 launched in 95, like, of course, the launch here, like, their the impact or the revenue impact actually is, below the line because they're launching new hardware. And it's the PlayStation 1 was barely below the line. The remaining years into the PlayStation 2, it was steadily above the line. In PlayStation 2, it was quite a bit below the line, and then steadily above the line. Well, in 2006, when the PlayStation 3 launched, I mean, it was like well below the line as far as how much money they made. Like, they didn't make anything. They were losing money from 2006 all the way to 2009. And then in 2010, they finally made money on the PlayStation 3. But in 2011, they broke even. In 2012, they lost money. Well, 2013, the PlayStation 4 launched, and the launch year was just a little bit below the line, but steadily, completely increasing every year after that. I wonder if that's in millions. Oh yeah, no, billion. In 2018, they're making 190 billion yen, and apparently,
So,
what?
$1.9 million.
Um, uh,
I think it's
yeesh,
100 yen per dollar. I do believe.
190. Wait, let me see. Million. Oh, I guess it would help if I yen to USD. 1.7 million dollars.
Oh,
But they're making that, I guess, per. Well, that's what they're making each year or whatever, regarding just the console itself. So I mean, they've turned everything completely around for the PlayStation brand from since it's like when I guess the drastic uh, drop off in the PlayStation 3. They've made the appropriate changes. You know, the exclusive hardware, exclusive software is definitely helping them out this generation, and they're doubling down on that to create more. They did come out and say they were planning on supporting the PlayStation 4 until 2021, so we're probably looking at a 2020 release date for PlayStation 5, and it is supposed to have the Ryzen Vega APU.
oh shit.
Yeah, and so it really does look like the play like right now. I mean, there's not an area that is tracked that somebody some company that's not Sony doesn't own in the PlayStation side of it. Like it's just that like they can't. I mean, you've heard so much about how many people say the Xbox One controller is 10 times better than the PS4 controller. Well, the PS4 controller not only has been the top selling accessory this generation, but now it's actually been the number one selling accessory in terms of dollar sales since forever. So I mean, I don't know, man. Like they seem to be just hitting a perfection mark right now. I mean, obviously they're not perfect, but like they just seem to be hitting a perfection mark right now. And I'm just hoping when they're going into the PlayStation 5, they carry that momentum over. Because right now, I think the Xbox One, unless something happens between now and the launch of the Xbox, whatever the fuck it's going to be called, that turns something around for Xbox, no matter what they do at the start of the next generation, they're going to be fighting an uphill battle because they have all the press that's this whole generation leading into the next console cycle. And they're going to have to combat that negative press and Sony's success leading into the next generation all at the same time. So they're going to be fighting an uphill battle again next generation as well. Cyrus, I didn't see anything about them reevaluating mobile gaming, but they're in mobile gaming right now. They actually have opened up a studio, and it's under Sony Music. Why it's under Sony Music, I don't know, but they actually have studios there that are creating nothing but mobile games. So,
Yeah, I don't think that's a good thing though.
well, I mean, it's not even affecting PlayStation at all because it's not part of PlayStation. It's just a completely side thing that they're just putting, like Sony's putting games on mobile devices or whatever.
We just hope it stays that way.
Oh yeah, I mean, but it's not even under it's not even under the PlayStation umbrella. It's under the Sony Music umbrella, and it's not even Sony owned studios. It's actually they opened up this thing so that way any developers could come to them for help and putting the game their games on mobile platforms.
Let's just hope it's not all Candy Crush type shit where you gotta pay to keep playing and bullshit like that.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like I don't play mobile games to even know what's even out there.
Oh, you're missing
What's
out.
up, J. Caesar? No, I'm not.
Oh, you are, man. I got some good ones.
I game so much throughout the day that whenever I'm the small time that I'm away from the house, I'm not even.
But yeah, that's the thing. You're not away from the house that often. But if you're away from the
Yeah,
house often, like, dude, yeah.
it might be different then, but as of right now, I mean, like I don't even take a Vita or a Switch or anything with me because I'm just like, why?
Yeah,
I
I gotta
definitely
have
get
my,
I definitely
I
get
have to have
my
my gaming on the go.
I definitely get plenty of gaming in without having to take it on the go with me.
Implosion. That's a hell of a game.
Twin stick shooter.
No, actually, it's a
Oh no,
top-down.
this one's Inksplosion that I was thinking of.
Oh yeah, no, Implosion. This one's a top-down, like mech action, third-person action type game.
Top down throws me off already.
Well, kind of off to one angle. It's just kind of like your standard, third-person camera angle.
Ah,
It just doesn't move because it's a mobile game.
yeah.
But real good 3D graphics, and it's got a real nice, like the mech. There's two or three different mechs, and then each one's got a bunch of different slots of different equipment you can put in, and different special moves you can do, and shit like that. It's a really good game for a mobile game.
I'm just not interested at all in any sort of mobile gaming. And Shadowkin says the GTX 1180 is supposed to be revealed at the PC E3 thing.
See, okay, because I heard that, but then I also saw, was it, I don't know, I don't think it was Linus Tech Tips, but it was one of them, maybe Jay's 2 cents, um, that was saying that there weren't going to be any new NVIDIA cards launched for a while. And they were like, I think I read like at least like years, or at least like a year or something. So I don't know if there's just going to be like the reveal at E3, but the launch date's going to be a ways from now, because it wouldn't make a lot of sense, because I mean, they, between the Titan V and then the 1080 Ti was not launched all that long ago. What was it, like 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, I mean, at this rate, I mean, I feel sorry for anybody who feels like they have to have the top of the line shit because, like, between Nvidia and AMD, you're constantly upgrading that fucking GPU.
Well, not if you just get AMD.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you still even are then because like AMD puts out one, and then they next year they put out another that's top that beats the one that you have. So,
Oh, but not by much though. That's the thing. I see.
but if you feel like if you're one of those people that feel like you have to have the top of the line every time, though, I mean, you're constantly swapping out everything. Like that could get very fucking expensive.
I guess, but that's the thing. When I had my 290X, I was looking when they launched the 390 and then the 480 and then the 580, and all the way up to the 580, the performance difference was only like, I think it was like 12%. So it wasn't like they were putting out like huge numbers, and I felt like it was actually worth it to get a new one.
Yeah, but that 12% could have been like the difference between 124 frames and 144 frames.
Yeah, maybe, but
I mean,
it's not worth
that's
$500 though.
fucking huge, man.
It's not like Nvidia, man. And it's even worse with them because, like I said the other uh, last week or whatever, like they're gimping their performance hard on the older cards with some of this GameWorks shit. So what was it like? The what was the game that they tested? I can't remember. I think it was Fallout 3 or Fallout 4, excuse me. But the 780 was getting either equal or slightly less performance than the not wait see 780 was getting either equal or less performance to like the 1050, or maybe it
Okay.
was or maybe it was the or maybe it was the 980 that was getting right around the same performance as a 1050. Either way, it was like it was was only 1 or 2 generations behind, and it was the top of the line versus, just about the bottom of the line, not the 1030 or whatever, but it was their bottom of the line other than that, and they were getting almost equal performance, which just should not happen. Because if you looked at the same game, if you looked at like a 290X, it was only getting a few percentage points less than like a 480 or something like that. It wasn't even close to the same drop. So they're really fucking with stuff with their bullshit. But that's Nvidia for you.
Yeah, and Cyrus, you think Sony should release a PlayStation PC that plays PS4 games but also runs on like Linux or something? That would be cool. I don't know, I don't know how many PC gamers would go out and like buy that thing, but I might.
And that's the thing though, if they did Linux, then you'd still be pretty gimped as far as game support goes.
Oh yeah, I guess that would be
I
true
mean,
because like right
Valve
now
games,
not a lot's running.
you could do all of Valve games, and I believe all of Blizzard games work on Linux.
I wonder if their games would work on Linux, the PlayStation games, because of the fact that they have sort of like a Linux kernel inside it.
I'm sure they could get it to run.
Yeah. That would be cool though. I mean, like where you could get to play PlayStation games and get to use a PC without having to use Windows 10. That would be cool. I think honestly, if Linux got the support that Windows 10 does, most all the gamers would be on Linux instead of
for sure.
Windows.
Yeah, driver support and game support. Yeah, although it's happening slowly but surely.
Yeah, it just happening slowly right now.
But more and more developers are starting to put out Linux support at launch, and there's even a whole bunch that are patching it in within a few months or something like that. So maybe within a few years we can start seeing widespread Linux support, and
That would be cool because then we would be able to see how much PC gamers really think of Microsoft Windows.
Oh, dude, we'd be gone.
I would imagine the majority of them would be.
Or at the very least, we'd dual boot.
Yeah.
Keep Windows 10 for whatever isn't compatible, but for the majority,
Linux for your gaming.
Exactly. Yeah. Play the majority of stuff on
the
there.
games run better on Linux than they do on Windows.
Yeah, Windows is a little too even 10, which is not too bad, but yeah, even Windows 10 is a little too bloated.
Well, Gilgit, it's not that they don't like Windows. I think they prefer Linux as far as like gaming goes. I'm sure they like Windows for the other functionalities that it does, but
too many negatives.
I think whenever it comes to gaming, I think that Linux definitely would always win out over Windows.
Yeah, Linux doesn't lock you as much as Windows does. There's a whole it's completely open source.
Well, Cyrus, if they built a PlayStation PC and then just use basically it would be a desktop PlayStation if they're going to use the PlayStation OS. But what would be the point in that though? Like unless you can upgrade it with different GPUs to make your games run better and have PC settings, I guess maybe that might work. But I don't know if they could get a bunch of people to buy into that, considering they would be spending like the $500 on the GPU or $700 or whatever it is just for PlayStation games. So, I mean, I'm not sure how great that would go over. I mean, it'd be pretty cool in my mind, but I just don't think it would go over that well with the mass consumer because, I mean, they're switching to PC but still limiting themselves to PlayStation. I think PlayStation can make a bank of money if they launch like a Steam-like store on PC.
I don't see why they don't.
I mean, there are so many PC gamers that want to play PlayStation games.
And
they just refuse to buy a PlayStation.
Yeah, it's not like they're losing hardware sales because the PC guys don't want to buy a console. That's the whole You know. Yep.
Y'all are just fucking anti-consumer.
And if they did their own store, it's not like they'd be losing money to Steam or whatever.
I think it'd be definitely more popular than Windows 10 Store.
Oh, for sure. 1,000 times more popular.
Well,
Ugh.
there's actually, for one thing, there's actually games would be in the PlayStation Store that the gamers want to play versus what's in the Windows 10 Store.
And it wouldn't be
There's,
Windows.
yeah, and there's, I mean, really, if you look at the what's in the Windows 10 stores as far as like Xbox games, there's not really a whole lot that people would be willing. I mean, because the majority of them they can get on
Yeah,
Steam
all the ones you'd want
or
to get, they're all on Steam.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to, I mean, if you look at their exclusives, the only one that might be worth playing would be like Forza Horizon 3. But other than that, I mean, it's been a mediocre generation for them, all generation, like as far as like what they release and how great the games are.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's booting up the Windows Store to get Sea of Thieves.
No. In fact, I mean, it dropped from the number 2 spot last month to number 18 this month.
Oof.
Yeah, it even got beat out by Yakuza 6
That's a hell of a
in
drop.
in North America. Like it was funny because there's one uh, Xbox fanboy named Gamer Liberal that was talking about. I mean, one of his most hated games, or pretty much is Yakuza or any Japanese game, saying that gamers just don't buy that game. It's bullshit. They're don't waste your money on it. It's stupid. And he was always high praising Sea of Thieves that it's going to be more popular and stuff like that than God of War and all this crap. And then all of a sudden, like the second month or the follow up month after the launch month, Sea of Thieves drops to 18 and actually gets beat out by the one game that he hated so bad as Yakuza. I'm like, shit, man. If it's one thing to get beat out like by other big third party games, but to get beat out by the one game you fucking hate and think is irrelevant, that says a whole lot about how well Sea of Thieves is doing.
Yeah, that's a kick in the nuts.
Yep.
Uh,
I'm gonna be quiet for a minute because I'm gonna go use the restroom.
yep. Yeah, Shadowkin. That's for sure. It would definitely help. Although Good Old Games is coming up, and they although the situation has somewhat resolved itself. At least the the dev that was making a big stink about the message they got from Valve, they got another message saying to basically ignore the previous message. So we don't exactly know what's going on with all that yet, but at least for the moment, it looks like that shit's not happening. But they did put out an offer to any developer that wants to launch their stuff on their store. So it's no reason why they couldn't launch on both. But at the very least, at least they know they've got a place to launch their games if they want. What do you mean? What happened, Jay Caesar? Oh, which reminds me. Uh, do, 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 do. Oh, just that they they announced to any developers that they would be happy to host their games if they got dropped by Steam. Yeah, go get the so somebody at Steam, oh God. So somebody at Steam sent a message to a bunch of developers that they were going to need to scrub content from their games uh, or else be dropped. But, and then Good Old Games announced that they would be happy to pick them up. But HuniePop tweeted out that they got another message from Steam, I believe yesterday or maybe the day before, basically telling them to ignore the message they got beforehand. So nobody's said anything. I mean, there's rumors or there's speculation that it was a rogue employee, or they got hacked maybe, or who knows what the fuck's going on with that. But at the moment, at least, it looks like that it was either an accident or whatever, and that it's not going to be an official type of thing. But Good Old Games did announce that they would pick up those developers. But speaking of Good Old Games, Unreal, the original, is free right now on both Steam and Good Old Games. So if you
Isn't that really old though?
It is really old, but it is one of the great first-person shooters. So if anybody wants to play a classic, it is free. And yeah, I don't know about because Good Old Games, didn't they just launch? Or no, that was Humble Bundle that included Destiny 2 on there. Yeah, Cyrus, it was late 90s, something like that. It's a pretty long time ago. And have you seen the new Thundercats show coming out?
Oh God.
And it literally looks like it's being drawn by the same people that did like Adventure Time or something.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like some very lazy fucking drawing.
Yeah, and so people are hating on it on Twitter and elsewhere. So, Atla Harafni, FlameCon 2018 at Atla the Writer. I'm guessing they're somebody working on it, and they tweeted, "Thing is, if you're an animation student whose favorite pastime is publicly, quote, dunking on TV shows like Teen Titans Go and Thundercats Roar, prospecting employers will see those tweets and will take that as a valid example that you're not ready for this industry." Basically, almost like not blackmail, but basically almost like a threat. And I like this guy Thomas at Leo Convoy 85. "I really appreciate this confirmation. I long suspected the industry did its own gatekeeping to limit anyone with a care for older animation and properties out. Thanks for confirming."
Yeah, I was really excited to know Thundercats was coming back, and then I saw the advert for it. I was like, oh dear God.
Oh, I know, right?
What in the fuck did they do to like such a great fucking cartoon?
Oh,
like, why do they need to fucking change it?
And the first one looked so fucking good.
Yeah.
For not
like,
only for an American cartoon, but for how old it was, like that animation was just fantastic.
Yeah, they fucked that all the fuck up.
Yeah, and I love how the dude mentioned Teen Titans Go, like that's somehow related, except in the fact that just like this one, they fucked up the animation. This is becoming a really big common occurrence now, where somebody takes a beloved childhood or otherwise nostalgic thing like Star Wars or Teen Titan or whatever, and it's almost like they have to purposefully destroy it.
Yeah, it seems like what they're setting out to do almost.
Yeah. I mean, there's almost no other explanation because you look at the shit that they pull with this kind of stuff, and there's just no way. It's like how could you think that this was a good idea to do?
Yeah, I forgot the artist's reasoning for it, but it sounded so BS.
Yeah. Oh, it's for kids.
Well, I mean, the reason why they went with that art style versus the other one,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
it was so far fetched. I can't remember what it was, but I was just like, that doesn't even make fucking sense. But it just makes you. I mean, it just makes you wonder what's next.
Right.
I
And
won't be watching the new Thundercats at all.
they did it with Scooby Doo.
I didn't see the Scooby Doo one.
Oh, fucking terrible. Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they fucked that up.
Even the Family Guy has been drawing than the damn Thundercats, the new Thundercats does.
Cyrus,
The Family Guy's very basic.
I don't really put Transformers in with that because, for one thing, I actually like the Transformers movies. I know they were not that great, but I still liked them. And at least he didn't seem like he was intentionally trying to ruin it. You know, it was like Michael Bay was just kind of doing the Michael Bay thing. But and of course this Atla Hrafni, she's got her pronouns, she, her.
Of course, you always got to make sure you put that in there.
Yeah, and then there's a TV casting thing. They're looking for a transgender actress.
I put on my Twitter that I identify as a male, that identifies as a female, that identifies as a male.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody with one of these bigger YouTuber accounts replied back to me, and then they deleted the tweet, but I saw the tweet. It said, "Have you been called for to be casted in Battlefield 6?" And I said, "I'm just waiting on my casting callback." But he had deleted the tweet already. But I think it was because he realized like how he could get in trouble, being as the size that he is. It's sad that whenever you get up to a certain following, you have to almost kind of be careful of what you say. You have to police what you say.
Yeah. And Shadowkin, yeah, the first one's probably my favorite. I did like the fourth one was hilarious with what's his name? The one that
Mark
played
Wahlberg?
No. Well, I mean he was in it, but no, the one that played the fat the one with all the guns.
I don't know.
Roseanne, the dude that played the dad in Roseanne.
Oh, Dan Connor. Yeah,
No.
John Goodman.
Goodman, yeah.
Yeah,
He was
Dan Connor, like
oh
Roseanne's
man,
actual husband.
he was fucking hilarious. I'm like a fat ballerina that slits throats.
The crazy thing is the first one was good, but then the rest of them, like, they progressively just got more and more action sequences and more explosions. It just seemed like, in
pretty much.
I think one of the after ones of the first one, my wife and kids and I went to the movie to see it, and we ended up on opening night or whatever, and we had to sit closer to the front. And my eyes couldn't keep up with all the different things happening on the screen. It felt like I was getting dizzy just trying to keep up with what's going on. I was like, no more. I'll never watch another one of these high action movies close to the screen because it's so mind screwing. Your eyes just bouncing everywhere trying to watch all the shit that's happening on the screen at one time.
Yeah, and I don't like what they did. Like, I the uh, the Transformers that just like moved around like a mass of molecules or whatever.
Yeah.
That was just silly. It's like, dude, they're not Transformers anymore.
No, I mean, then that kind of takes the whole point of the name
Yeah,
Transformers
I
out of
know.
it.
I get what they were trying to do, like it's new and all that, but yeah, that you went the wrong way there.
Yeah, at least make a new actual Transformer. Something that actually transforms and not just as a big blob or a big, ball of molecules or whatever.
Man, I guess it wasn't this chick who said the reason for the art style, which is too bad. Wanted to see what that was gonna be. Oh, I like the two guys that were like uh I don't think they were like Kia Souls or whatever, but they were some teeny little car like that. They were funny.
Let's see.
But yeah, the those dangling balls, that was pretty stupid. Sally Cohn recounts being sexually harassed by former Fox News CEO Roger Ailes.
Ah, she just happened to remember.
Quote, "You're so beautiful, men must not know what to do with you."
Wow.
I will take shit that never happened for 1,000, Alex. Ugh. Yeah, of course it's somebody who's already dead, so they can't actually like, defend themselves. Although I wouldn't be surprised if this guy clawed his way out of the grave and said, "Fuck no, I didn't do this shit." Ugh.
I still can't believe how I'm looking at the picture for the Thundercats, and I'm just like blown away as to
Ugh.
how that ever came about.
Right? I mean, and I would say that like they're just getting a whole bunch of like maybe not recent, but at least fairly recent like art school graduates, and they all just kind of suck. But that wouldn't explain like where all the rest of the artists went that were doing good shit.
Yeah, somebody just said they better leave the Masters of the Universe alone.
Oh man.
Uh,
Oh, they would, dude. He,
imagine it's gonna happen.
He-Man will turn into some pink hair soy boy.
It's just so like why?
And they'll give him a strong and independent female sidekick who don't need no man, especially not no He-Man. Pink Hulk. I mean, really, I'm kind of surprised they haven't tried it with like X-Men or one of those. I mean, they already did the comics. I guess the Warframe community is getting pretty pissed off about a moderator's censorship of the chat.
Huh. Like what happened?
Oh, there's a mod called, well, the original name was Friend Zoning Misandrist, because of course it is. That's been shortened to Missan, and of course they have a Tumblr blog. But
Of course.
but so they on the Tumblr blog they've talked about the filtering in the in-game chat, and so they completely banned use of the word trap.
Oh dear God.
And then they also banned the word gay, but people got pissed off, and especially like if you ban the word gay, then gay people can't even talk about being gay. So they did reverse that one. But yeah, so apparently they're getting a lot of hate. Recently got casual mentions of the word rape added to the filter.
Oh, the thought police are at it again.
Right? And then there was a subreddit post that turned into a petition to have her removed from the chat moderating position. Fucking Cyrus.
What do you say? I was looking at the Thundercat shit. Let me see.
Trapjaw is a He-Man character. It all comes back to Herman. Or He-Man.
No, you probably met Herman. Yes, Chris, this is all coming full fold, and scared to see where the cards are going to land. I'm just hoping all the cards come out before power in the government switches.
Right?
Because man, if the far left Democrats ever get a hold of the government again, while this is going on, we will be UK and Germany and Sweden. We'll probably be a damn direct replica of Sweden.
Yeah. No joke.
All in the sake of the name of diversity.
That's true. Beastman is a metaphor for what they think about masculinity.
Yep. You know, it's not okay to be a man unless you're a trans man. And then it's okay because you have a lot of estrogen inside you.
Yep. Then not only should you be a man, you should be the most stereotypical man ever.
Yeah.
And Wargaming Seattle, which was previously Gas Powered Games, is shutting down. Bought out by World of Tanks publisher Wargaming back in 2013. Wargaming CEO Victor Killsley was the one to make the announcement today. Yeah.
Somebody thinks with the new Thundercats thing that this is proof that we're currently living in the new goddamn golden age of animation. Whew.
Jesus. They should watch an anime or something.
Or hell, just watch the original fucking Thundercats.
Right? Or hey, how about South Park? I think it's got better visuals.
Fuck, almost anything on out right now has better visuals than the Thundercat shit.
Yeah, somebody
It's
said
just a fucking joke.
there was a Russian team of animators that, as a side project, in something like a week, they came up with a little YouTube thing that looked better than the Thundercats did. Ugh. Yeah, man, that sucks because Gas Power Games, they did Dungeon Siege and Supreme Commander.
Well, apparently somebody in the industry, I guess in the whole drawing industry or whatever, the thing is, if you're an animation student whose favorite pastime is publicly dunking on TV shows like Teen Titans Go and Thundercats Roar, prospecting employers will see those tweets and will take that as a valid example that they're not ready for this industry.
Yeah,
And somebody else put on there, said this kind of tweet is a great example of why I got out of the industry. Conscious, incestuous, sanctimonious shrews who won't hesitate to burn you if you fall out of line. That's
Yep.
true.
Yeah, they're not wrong. Ah, Samurai Deeper Kyo. Yes, J. Caesar. That is a good show. Lots of good samurai action in that one.
Wow, and apparently a YouTube channel called Diversity in Comics titled a video said Thundercats Roar, the societal dangers of toxic anti-masculinity.
He does a lot with comics, obviously. I've been watching him for a little while. He's pretty funny. This is one of the other ones that was shitting on the Last Jedi a lot. And I guess the fan rating for Solo is down to like 33% or something.
The what now?
The new Solo movie.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty low.
Yeah. Yeah, so people are not happy. That's okay. They these big companies, they just need to die. Although unfortunately, I don't think I mean Disney might feel the hit, but I don't think this is gonna hurt them all that much. Right, Cyrus? Yeah, I refuse. They can bite me. Won't even pirate it. And I don't even want to give them the impression that they might have lost a sale. Later, J. Caesar. I guess a new content pack for Tekken 7's releasing on the 31st. So, a little less than a week, or a little more than a week. Includes character customization items such as story costumes, NJPW, collaboration items, outfits, and more. NJPW. Of course, they don't explain what that is. NJPW. Is this? Oh shit. Ah, so that's why they released Unreal for free. There's a trailer.
Why?
There's a teaser trailer out for Unreal Redux. So I guess they're remastering it. Looks pretty nice. If it's only like $10 or something, I might pick it up.
It's not bad. I'm really having a lot of fun with Nier Automata.
Ah. I wish that would actually like drop to a decent sale price.
A decent sale price for you.
Well, yeah, well, especially because I couldn't get it to work.
Oh yeah.
It kept crashing on the first. It was crashing on the first mission where it would white screen, and then after that it was anywhere from between like 5 to 15 minutes, and it would just crash to desktop. And yeah, I'm certainly not, even on sale it's still like $40, and I'm not gonna pay that much for something that I don't know for sure is gonna work on my system. Like 15, okay.
Imagine it's been passed by now.
Probably, but again, it hasn't gone cheap
wow.
enough though. That's the thing. Like,
I can understand with it being $40 and not knowing it's gonna crash on you somewhere.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, like 15, even $20. $20, I could say, fuck it, you know. And no on PC, Cyrus.
It probably be a little hard for you to get the refund for the same game the second time around for the exact same reasons.
Yep. Yeah, well, it wasn't all that great of a PC port anyways.
Oh, Platinum's not really known for their great PC ports.
War Thunder coming very soon to Xbox One, along with an exclusive premium tank. My dad loves that game. It's one of the few he actually plays.
Stan Lee announces he wants to be president of the world.
Man, with how many fans he's got, he might actually have a chance.
Oh shit! I mean, I think that if he actually ran, yeah, probably. I mean, he probably wouldn't even have to give any sort of policy as to what he's thinking. Just show up and say that just means more Marvel movies, and be like, all right.
Marvel movies will become a right.
Yeah, they'll definitely vote for him.
It depends on how bad, Cyrus. Like, I mean, I got irritated with Battlefield 3 and 4 because you could tell, like, the UE was not designed for a mouse. It was designed for a controller and shit like that. But I can at least put up with that. But, like, oh man, it was weird with Nier because if you move your mouse slow enough in Nier, the the screen won't move. So they didn't even actually recode the the look system or whatever you want to call it for a mouse. They just convert your mouse movement into a joystick input that then moves the character, which I don't think I've ever seen that lazy a programming in a port. And not even like it didn't work well, because it did, but still. Because I play everything with mouse and keyboard, Shadow. There's one game and one game only that I have hooked my PS4 controller up for, and that is Guilty Gear. Because a fighting game on the mouse and keyboard would just suck ass. Holy shit. Google unveils a 120 hertz 4800 by 3840 per eye VR display that can run natively on current PCs.
Hmm.
That's a hell of a lot of fucking resolution.
Mm-hmm.
Uses white OLED with color filter structure for high density pixelation and an N-type LTPS backplane for faster response time than mobile phone displays. Wonder how much this shit's gonna cost though. It does not say what you would need for that, Cyrus, but it says current hardware, so I would assume something like a Vega or a 1060, 1070, 1080, something like that. Also does not say how much it's going to cost, and that's one hell of a fucking display for one of those things. I can imagine it would cost quite a fucking lot.
I wish we could get to where we have androids. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Be scary, but it'd be cool.
Nintendo
Think if
applied.
they ever start selling. Oh, go ahead.
Nintendo applied for an N64 trademark in Japan.
Yeah, they're probably about to do an N64 classic console.
Yep.
But can you imagine like those other consoles that come out? They have like a smaller version of the controller.
Right.
What the hell is a smaller N64 controller gonna look like?
Oh man.
That's gonna be
Although,
almost impossible to fucking play on.
well, I can imagine them doing it to where the right stick looks kind of the same, and then the middle stick they move to the left, and then they just put the arrow buttons like in the middle somewhere or something.
Maybe I mean it's gonna be an interesting controller.
Yeah, I don't see them just like they certainly couldn't make a smaller version of the regular N64 controller. That shit wouldn't work.
Oh no, I mean, well, it might actually work even better because then your hands would actually be able to stay on left and right, and not even have to worry about that center.
Right? Uh, oh, sci-fi battle royale. Islands of Nine coming soon to Steam Early Access. God, another early access game. Oh, and you drop in just like PUBG.
Oh, I'm getting tired of that shit. Same shit, different name.
Oh man, I don't know. Looks kind of weird. Like your arms are too skinny and long, and but it looks cool though. Like that might actually be a battle royale I might want to try.
Oh,
See how much it is when it launches.
what's it called?
Islands of Nine, Nyne.
Islands of Nine. Let me see.
Yep, truck driver simulator battle royale. SimCity battle royale.
I can only imagine if actually get to that, you know?
Right? I hate running backwards. The hell is this? A block game? Well, it looks like Minecraft dudes or maybe Lego dudes with guns. Except it's third person. Wow. This is some weird shit.
What's that?
I
Oh,
hate
that game?
Yeah, I hate running backwards. So it's like Lego or Minecraft blocks and it's top down and you keep just walking backwards towards the top of the screen while enemies keep coming up from the bottom and you gotta shoot them. And
That sounds kind of weird.
it looks weird. Man, a lot of release trailers out. Lust for Darkness. Half naked lady. All right, all right. Tell me this guy like strangles her or something. Wow, it is weird. Psychological horror of seeking satisfaction on the border of two intertwining worlds. An intriguing plot with erotic and occult themes guides the player's characters through the Yelvertones Victorian mansion and a perverse land inspired with Lovecraft's works and painting of Zdzisław Beksiński. Hmm, interesting. Earthfall gets a full release date for July. 4-player co-op shooter in which aliens have invaded the Pacific Northwest on July 13th. Huh. Oh, wow. It's only $15 now on full release. It'll jump up to 30. I might have to get it. Looks gorgeous.
Look at you thinking about buying the game.
Later, Cyrus. I know. It's an early
Yeah,
access
later,
game,
Cyrus.
too.
Oh, those are dangerous.
Yeah, but it'll be half the price, though. And it's very positive. 81% positive for the last 30 days and 79% positive for all time. Shit. Well, I got my refund for what was it? Rainbow Six Siege.
This late after?
Oh no, I just bought it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it went on sale like Friday or something. So I bought it and then yeah, I was getting uh like hitches or stutters or something. Once every like 5 to 10 seconds, the screen would freeze for like a half a second. Apparently, it's a pretty. I don't know how common it is, but I saw posts of everybody from 1080s all the way down to 290s and Nvidia and AMD cards. So apparently, a bunch of people had the same issue. So I just returned it. It's too bad about Stellaris. Guess the new update people really hate.
Oh, that's.
Yeah, Shadowkin. Shadow Warrior 3 would be cool. I still need to get the second new one. House Flipper is a home repair simulation among Steam's bestsellers.
Oh, wow.
So now there's PC Builder
Yeah.
and House Flipper.
Y'all definitely are not picky when it comes to gaming. Yeah, I will literally play fucking anything.
I'm sure it's the same kind of people that like stuff like either SimCity or maybe Roller Coaster Tycoon or any of the procedural games like that.
But I just figured one of them games would give you all the fix you need.
Eh.
Because damn.
Detroit Become Human, their launch trailer is finally up. On Space Hulk Deathwing Enhanced Edition. Urgh. Now available on PS4 and PC. Oh shit. The Wolfenstein and Bulletstorm developers set up a new studio, Neon Giant.
Oh, I wonder what they're gonna do with that one.
Ah. I think there was the thing about them putting out a new shooter, but they didn't have any like name or anything. And I don't think I don't know if they own they certainly don't own Wolfenstein. I wonder if they own Bulletstorm. Man, I'd like a new Bulletstorm, that's for sure. That was a hell of a game. Stone Shard, open world roguelike RPG. Game is 100% funded. Wonder how long that is from release, though. Oh shit. Friday the 13th is getting a single player challenge.
Yeah, I heard that.
See what the says has a date. No, YouTube. May 24th. And no additional charge for the people who have it, obviously. And I think it's on sale for like 13 bucks. Shadow Kid. Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 are getting remasters on PS4. State of Decay 2 is on live on Game Pass. Did
Oh boy.
did Shane ever play that?
He said he played a little bit of it, but then, like in the first 10 minutes, they were introduced as us being a couple, and he was kind of wondering why that was even needed. But
Huh.
after that, I mean, I haven't really heard much from him after that about how the game is.
Sony CEO John Kodera says the PS4 is at the end of the console's life cycle. Oh, entering the end. Still. PS5 isn't coming for a while though, right? Oh, NBA Playgrounds 2 is delayed. Kingdom Hearts 3 has some gameplay footage out.
Yeah, there's some people that were got to play some early build of it or whatever.
Yeah,
They
Eurogamer
were
and
loving it.
a couple
Yeah.
others. Rec Room VR to get a new Rec Royale mode.
Oh my gosh, man. When is this gonna stop? I mean, I get Battle Royale's popular, but shit.
Like I said, bro, it was World War II for the longest time, and then it was zombies. Everything was getting zombies. and it was modern, and everything was Modern Warfare this, and it was future, Advanced Warfighter, and what was the other Ghost Recon? Future something or other? Can't remember. Oh shit! A Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines sequel is under consideration. That'll make a lot of people happy.
I'm getting tired. I think it's because of the heat.
Really? Man, I love the heat.
That just makes me tired. I like it. I like it a lot better than the cold for sure, but it just makes me tired faster.
Book crowdfunding. Virtual Cities, an atlas and exploration of video game cities featuring Half-Life 2, Fallout New Vegas, Grim Fandango, and 37 more. I mean, I guess if you really like books and maps and shit, that'd be kind of cool. Hmm. Modern Warfare 4 to be Call of Duty's 2019 release, but that's just a rumor. Hmm. Well, oh, that looks like that's just about everything.
Yeah, I think we've covered. I think pretty much everything that's
Oh,
happening
yeah.
right now.
And fucking Shane decided not to show up.
Of course, he forgot today. He forgot what day Wednesday was on.
Yep.
That's what happens when you turn gay, though.
Right? Who knew? But, well, thanks everybody for tuning in. And, we'll see y'all on Friday. Peace out.
Yes, Friday. Yeah.